This is the tale of the lighthouse that glows in reverse. A mysterious, creepy sight for any mariner who's lucky enough to see it. But what's the real story behind the strange light? It all starts with Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas O'Connell. They were busy in the studio one day when they heard an unusual noise. It sounded like a heartbeat, but it was too regular to be a human heart. This sound was to become the inspiration for their next song. And it wasn't just the rhythm that intrigued them. It was also the melody, which seemed to go backwards. Once they heard it, they couldn't get it out of their heads. And when they finally wrote it down, they noticed something strange. All the notes went from high to low instead of the other way around. The song sounded fine when played forwards, but playing it back in reverse made it even better. So they released the song in its reversed form and it became a big hit. But there was more to the song than met the ear. After the song was released, people started telling the pair about their dreams. Some said they dreamt of sailing ships, and others spoke of eerie green lights. Many said they dreamed of the same thing, a lighthouse that glowed in reverse. This was especially creepy since the song had never mentioned lighthouses or anything similar. Yet many people dreamt of the same bizarre image. Some have suggested that these dreams are connected to the legend of the Mayflower, a ship that set sail in 1620 and carried the first Puritans from England to New England. However, no one knows for sure if there's any truth to this theory. Now, let's get back to the lighthouse that glows in reverse. If you ask Google, it'll tell you that this is just a myth and that no such lighthouse exists. In fact, it should be impossible for any lighthouse to flash in reverse. Lighthouses work by rotating a lens attached to a powerful light source. When the lens moves, the beam of light sweeps around, sending out signals that can be seen for miles. The most common pattern is a flash, pause, flash, pause, flash, pause. Each flash means the light has rotated 360 degrees. So if a lighthouse was to glow in reverse, it would mean that the lens was rotating in the opposite direction, which shouldn't be possible. It is like trying to spin a ball on a string in one direction while it is spinning in the other. Something would have to give. There's simply no way a lighthouse could rotate a beam of light in two directions at once. So if no lighthouse can flash in reverse, where did the idea come from? Well, it may have come from a simple optical illusion. Have you ever noticed how some lighthouses seem to flicker faster than others? This is because our eyes can't process light moving faster than 40 times a second. If a lighthouse is flashing faster than this, we perceive it as flickering rather than rotating. In some rare cases, this effect can make a lighthouse beam appear to rotate in the opposite direction. For example, if a lighthouse is rotating 60 times a second, we'll see it flickering in one direction. But if it suddenly doubles speed to 120 rotations per second, our eyes will interpret it as flickering in the opposite direction. Our eyes don't know whether it is really reversing or if it is just moving so fast that it appears to be going backwards. This creates an optical illusion that seems almost supernatural. But there's another possible explanation for the reverse flashing lighthouse. This is a secret weapon used by navies around the world. It's called a mirror semaphore, and it works by rotating a mirror instead of a lens. By rotating the mirror, the beam of light is bounced onto a periscope and then directed towards the observer. This makes it seem like the light is flashing in reverse, but in reality, it's just being bounced in a different direction. This technique isn't just used for confusing sailors, though. It's also used for defense purposes. If an enemy ship approaches a port, the Navy can activate the mirror semaphore to direct the lighthouse beam towards it. This creates a bright flash that can damage the ship's instruments and even blind its crew. In the past, this was used to defend important ports from pirates and privateers. And today, it's still used to protect military bases and other sensitive areas. But perhaps the strangest part of the story is that the lighthouse that glows in reverse may not exist, but people still dream of it. Why would that be? Well, some believe that these dreams are a form of collective unconsciousness. This is the idea that there are certain images and symbols that are common to all humans, regardless of culture or background. These symbols are stored in the collective unconsciousness of humanity and can be accessed through dreams. So when people dream of the lighthouse that glows in reverse, they're tapping into a universal symbol of confusion and disorientation. The lighthouse is a symbol of hope and guidance for sailors, but when it flashes in reverse, it becomes a symbol of danger and uncertainty. This is why the lighthouse that glows in reverse is such a popular motif in horror stories and nightmares. It represents the fear of the unknown and the anxiety that comes with it. However, some argue that these dreams are simply a product of suggestion. After hearing the song, many people began searching the internet for the lighthouse that glows in reverse. They read stories of other people who had seen it and convinced themselves that they, too, had seen it in their dreams. This is known as the Mandela effect, named after a man who died in 1920. He claimed to have met Nelson Mandela at a party in the early 1960s. But when he told others about his meeting, they insisted that it couldn't have happened because Mandela had been in prison for over 20 years. There are many theories to explain the Mandela effect, but ultimately it comes down to memory and perception. We can convince ourselves that something is true even if it isn't, and sometimes our memories can be so strong that we believe them even when evidence suggests otherwise. So what do you think? Is the lighthouse that glows in reverse a real phenomenon or just a product of suggestion? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching. See you next time.